She's a mum, a hunter, a wahine toa, and an auntie to many troubled rangatahi across the country. Now Pania Te Paiho is a 2023 Kiwibank Local Hero medallist for the Bay of Plenty. Earlier, Piripi Taylor spoke to Pania about how she felt being recognised in this way. Just a warning, the story discusses self-harm and suicide. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm going to be honest. To be honest, it's probably going to be a bit deep here. I kind of feel, because I've already received this award in 2020 for the Hora Whenua, but that was for my hunting. This one here is predominantly for helping our youth in the rangatahi suicide realm. So this one has a different kind of a connotation to it than the hunting buzz does. It almost has like a bittersweet to it, because I don't actually want to, you don't want to receive rewards for this, because that means that there's, where it's coming from, if that makes sense. It's very bittersweet. But I am very thankful that because I do have a platform and because I do get this award, is that I get to talk about the kaupapa and what our babies are going through. So I do have to look at it like that. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's a bit different from the first one.
Well, you are a safe place for many rangatahi who message you every night searching for a connection. What drives you in this mahi?
Oh, that's such a big one, bro. I lost my nephew. I've lost one of my lovely friends who was actually meant to take over Wainitoa hunting, parikura to this taniwha. There's just so much of it. And unfortunately, when you see it, and once you know you can help, you can never step back from it. I look at Mike King, and I watched him on Celebrity Treasure Island, I think it was, and he was like, I can't be here. I can't be doing this. Like, there's kids that don't want to be here. And I felt that, because that's what it feels like. It feels like once you step in that space and you know you can make a difference, you can't step out, bro. They need us. Like, they need you. So, and it's such a blessing, but such a bittersweet blessing to be able to have them trust you, and then have them walk through their journey with you beside them, and then come out the other side. Like, heaps of kids now, they're still here and they're not cutting, and it's a beautiful thing. I just wish I wish this mahi didn't have to exist. That's what I mean.
Ka roha. And so many of our whānau find ourselves in this situation, sadly. What is some of the messaging, some of the stories of these kids, obviously not going into too much detail, but these kids that are reaching out to you, and how do you respond to these cries for help?
So they can message me whenever they want through my social media at Wainitoa Hunting, and they do. Every night there's a new one added to already hundreds that are messaging me, and it can be 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Some of them are they just want to vent. They just want to be believed. A lot of our kids are smothered. We don't listen to them. They just want a voice, and they just want to know that they're okay. Some of the situations are very dire and very I've had one send me photos of ropes hanging up and their arms cut up, and just really raw. It's raw. It's what's happening, But some of the ones that, hold on, just give me a minute, because it's a bit almost. But
absolutely. When
I see them go, once I've talked to me and I just help them through, and now I see them, they're like so much better. Or they've come and live with me for a bit. Some of them come and live with me for a bit, come stay with me, or they just live around the corner, or I go into the mental health units and I talk to the kids in there, and I see the difference. It's like, you can't stop. You don't get a chance to stop. And I don't want to stop. I wish I didn't have to do it, but I never want to stop doing it.
Sure. Yeah. That must take a huge toll on yourself, obviously, spiritually and mentally as well. How do you cope with taking on this mahi?
To be honest, well, a lot of it is I stopped drinking, because I do a lot of my healing te awairu, it can stick, so when you're drinking, so I don't drink. I haven't drunk for almost 9 months. I go to Te Hahi Ratana, because I'm Morihu. I go out the bush, but I'm just very aware of when I'm getting to that level that I kind of have to step back for a day, which actually is so hard, because it could be that day that some kid reaches out, and by the time you check your messages, they're not here anymore. So, I mean, it is a really hard one for me to navigate that space. And I've got kaupapa ADHD, and I'm always like, because I know I've got a big mouth on the platform, if I see a kaupapa that's pono, I'll be like, I've got your back, bros. But what ends up happening is my modi gets just too thin, because it's in too many kaupapas. That's what's actually quite good why I'm not taking the hunts at the moment, because I broke my back a few months back. So that's allowed me, which it sounds weird, but it's allowed me to use the modi I would have been taking into the hunts for the spike in the kids asking for help, helping them.
Yep. Well, you've got to look after yourself in order to help others. So you work in this field. Your work in this field began with the Teen Suicide Prevention Hikoi to Parliament you organised in 2019. What are your aspirations for how you want to further help these tamariki?
I just want them to be listened to and to believed and not for us to talk over them because they have the answers of what they need. How can we as our generation and older tell them how it is? We didn't live through social media. We didn't live through lockdowns, COVID, the pea epidemic, homelessness. We didn't live through this. So how can we equip them with the skills that we don't have? They have them. And just being kind to our kids instead of belittling and condescending. Like, I really think the voting age should be 16. It really should be because a lot of these kids, they're just so mature and wise beyond their days, and we just dismiss them, and it's costing them their lives. It really, really is.
Sure. Well, what can we as a community, as a country, as a whānau do to help these troubled tamariki?
Be that auntie, be that uncle, be that koro, be the person that opens that door for that kōrero, but doesn't judge, doesn't use it as rumours and gossip and tea, uses it just to allow those kids to talk. And these kids don't need any more lectures, bro. All we seem to be doing is lecturing at our kids. Just let them talk, open the door, and it will come out. Once they feel safe with you and they trust you, it will come out. And talking saves lives, venting saves lives. As long as it's done in a safe place and they know they're safe and they're not being judged. Honestly, it saves so many kids. And I'm just so thankful and blessed that these kids come to me and they feel safe and can trust me. So that's what you got to do, bro. You just got to open that kōrero. Go and talk to your nieces and nephews tonight. Just be like, you know what? They might not open up at that time, but if you say, hey, uncle's always here, bro. You know, you got my phone number. You'll pop around whenever you want. And whatever we say stays with us. You know, whatever we say, and I'm not going to judge you. And I swear, unfortunately, there's so much kids just busting for a kōrero. And that kōrero could save their lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely beautiful kōrero there, Pania. Look, we love the mahi that you're doing, helping so many rangatahi through this. Thank you very much for your time today. Kiwibank Local Hero medallist and wahine toa. We very much appreciate your time and all the best in your endeavours in helping these rangatahi. Tēnā koe.
Kia ora whānau, thank you for having me. Mō ora.